A relatively low day when it comes to COVID cases in the natural state. Arkansas added about 2,500 new cases today, reaching a total of more than 276,000. About 20,000 of those cases are active. Hospitalizations dropped to 1,179, down 86 from yesterday. There were 55 new deaths reported due to COVID complications, bringing that total up to 4,441. More than 251,000 have made a recovery from the virus in the state.